Hey everybody, welcome to another high school football chat. I'm Jami Frankenberry.
And I'm Larry Rubama.
Well, we have 1 week in the books of the high school football playoffs. Last week, Larry, you saw Cox against Grassfield. You predicted the upset, although I don't know how much of an upset it was, but what did you see on Friday night in that game?
I think I talked about last week. I said Cox has to be able to move the ball. They got to be able to score points. They weren't able to do that. Grassfield's defense, they had just enough offense to get it done, and the defense did great. Seth Harrell had a huge game. He had a fumble recovery, about 3 or 4 QB hurries. He just had a great game, and Darius Higgins did his thing, scored 2 touchdowns, and they prevailed.
Yeah, the Falcons had their best regular season in school history. They were 9-1, beach champs. But they had trouble on offense all season. They had some injuries at quarterback, and they just didn't run up the score on a lot of teams. So you knew their defense was good, but you wondered how they'd play on offense. They lose 26-14. The Grizzlies have really been playing well. I think the difference, like you said, is Higgins, and they have some versatility too, don't they?
They do. They really do. They were able to throw the ball a little bit here and there, just try to keep the defense off balance a little bit. But their main thing is going to be running the ball. Higgins left, Higgins right, Higgins in the middle. But if you can play defense and you get him moving the ball, it's a nice recipe.
Yeah, that's in the 6A South region. We know Oscar Smith beat Western Branch 21-14. Woodside trounced Lansdowne. I think that maybe was one of the bigger surprises last week.
Yeah, I thought Lansdowne was going to be closer. I mean, they hadn't won a playoff game since 2005. I thought maybe they could have a chance. I know Woodside is good, but I thought that the Eagles would come out better, and it's too bad. The season's over with for them now.
Yeah, no real surprises in the 5A South region. I think another one of the surprises was in the 4A East region, where Deep Creek really had Lake Taylor on the ropes. Lake Taylor survives, and do you think they're going to go far this season, or was that a bad sign?
It's not a bad sign, but if they struggle with Deep Creek, they got Heritage, and if they get past them, possibly Lafayette, an undefeated team that's doing it on both offense and defense. Maybe it's a wake-up call, I think, though, for the Titans. I think they're going to bounce back and play well.
Yeah, you remember, this Lake Taylor program has had some pretty rough early postseason games, and then they've rolled on to state title or to the state championship game. So we'll see. Maybe this is a wake-up call for them. So let's get on to this week. Some big games, really, in the 6A South region. I think one of the marquee matchups is Bayside at Oscar Smith. Yeah. These teams met in 2012, 2013. Oscar Smith won in a blowout. Bayside beat them in 2010. What do you think this year, Larry? Can they do it?
I think it's going to be a great game. The key to this game to me is Armani Chapman for Bayside. He plays offense. He plays defense. He's the life, the energy of their team. If he can come out and do well and they can punch Oscar Smith early in the mouth, I think Bayside is going to upset Oscar Smith.
Yeah, Bayside's been pretty versatile. Oscar Smith has been great on defense. That offense is really hitting its stride. This week, Sean Mitchell could become the all-time leading passer in Virginia High School League history. He only needs about 60 yards. I still think there are a lot of weapons on that Oscar Smith team, so I like the Tigers. Now, another game in the 6A South region, Grassfield is at Woodside in Newport News. Larry, the Grizzlies are going to see a lot of the running game. Woodside averages 300 rushing yards per game. I think they're going to see a lot of that on Friday night. What do you expect in that one?
Without a doubt, it's going to be going back and forth running game. It should be a quick game because the ball is going to be run most of the time. But the Grizzlies are going to have a tough game going on the road as well. They got to get more offense. They got to find a way to move the ball and mix it up with the pass and run. But I think they got their hands full up there. Yeah,
they're going to have to control the ball, control the line of scrimmage, and keep Woodside's offense off the field. Otherwise, they're going to put together some of those 10-play, 12-play drives. In the 5A South, Indian River at Hampton, the Braves, maybe they woke up after that late season loss against Western Branch. What do you think of their chances against Hampton?
I mean, when you got Devin Hunter running the ball and the defense can play well, a lot of those guys, as I said before, it's a young team, a lot of sophomores. They've now matured. They're not sophomores anymore. Now they had a lot of experience. But the key for them is going to be stopping Daz Newsome. I mean, an incredible running back. He's already committed to Maryland. He's just had a phenomenal season, just a great season, and they got to find a way to stop him.
Yeah, Hampton's the number 1 seed over there. They did, they dominated on the peninsula. I think they're the favorite against the Braves. Now, the marquee matchup in the 5A South region, I think, is Salem against Norview. That's out in Virginia Beach. Larry, what do you expect in this one?
Well, it was nice to see for Salem that Devontae Williams got it going again. He had 100 yards rushing and a couple of TDs. Scotty Watson, the quarterback, was able to get to move the ball a little bit, score 2 touchdowns. That was good to see because they had been struggling. I mean, the last 3 or 4 games of the season, it didn't look right. Now they're going to face a Northview team that three-headed monster. When you got Dario Mack, the quarterback, Anton Ashby, the wide receiver, and Kevin Marks, an incredible running back who's now the school record holder at Northview. It's going to be a great game, but I wonder how Salem's going to respond now. They've won last week. Can they do it again this week?
Yeah, I thought that was big last week when Salem threw the ball a little bit. Scotty Watson had a really good game, so I think that was a good sign. I don't know if they have the firepower, though, to stay with Northview. We'll see about that one. 4A East, a rematch of the season opener. Heritage is at Lake Taylor. Heritage beat them in the season opener, but the Titans have won 10 straight games. What do you expect out of that one?
Again, I think the tough game against Deep Creek will be the opener saying, look, this season could be over with. And I know players, especially like DeMonte Tucker Dorsey, Roman Bond, they're not trying to see the season end. They want to at least get to the state championship. So this will be a great game, a great test. Yeah,
Lafayette is the number 1 seed. They're unbeaten. They play Grafton, so it could be Lake Taylor at Lafayette next week, but we'll see what happens. 3A East, the only 2 locals left. Lakeland is going to host Tab. Norcom is going to be at Phoebus. That game is on Saturday. And the Cavaliers, they have played really well. DeMontre Miltier, we have talked about him a lot this season. He might be the difference in this one against Tab.
Yeah, last week he had 4 touchdowns. He's just playing well right now. They need him to continue to do that. And again, as I said before, playing that Southeast District, tough competition has prepared them now for the playoffs. I think that they got a good chance to go far.
Yeah, now we've talked about all these big games or playoff games. There's another game Saturday that maybe is just as bigger in some people's eyes. That's IMG Academy coming up from Florida. They're going to play Bishop Sullivan at the Sportsplex Saturday night at 7 o'clock. Big crowd is expected. Yeah. IMG, one of the top teams in the country, playing a Bishop Sullivan team that's been off for a month. So what do you think effect that's going to have?
I think, they say, I went out there earlier this week, they say it's not going to bother them. They've been going against each other. They've been preparing, getting ready for this game. They've had a lot of just excitement going on in the practice. Now they got to put it out there. I mean, they're going against a team that has 9 guys who are ranked in the top 300 high school players in the year, 3 guys going to Alabama, 2 guys going to Ohio State, 2 guys going to LSU. That's a loaded team. So, I mean, we're going to see what happens. This is what Bishop Sullivan wanted to do. They wanted to play the big name teams. This is their chance to see what's going to happen. If they, as they said, if they beat IMG, they're going to shock the world.
Yeah, I think they will. I mean, that IMG team is just loaded with talent. Maybe the best team that's ever come here to play. We've seen some really good teams through the years play Oscar Smith, and, they've been on ESPN a couple of times. This one's not on ESPN. It's on Bleacher Report, and I think it's going to be a good game at the Sportsplex. We will be there on Saturday, so join us on Facebook.com/Virginian-Pilot. We'll be there live with a Facebook Live broadcast, kind of give you the more about that game. Before that, though, on Friday, join us for live updates on 757Teamz.com and on Twitter, and we will see you next time. Thanks.